Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And we are less than a day, but we are basically a day later on from the result, SA versus France. And so I thought I'd do a quick video to kind of reflect a little bit on that performance last night, how special it was. The more that we've now sort of managed to take a bit of a breath and we look at some of the moments in the match, we look at some of the performances, check some of the stats, check some of the analysis, for example, get some of the quotes from the various coaches to find out how much of the certain things that happened were planned and what wasn't. I think it just provides an opportunity for us to just re-look at a match that is an all-time classic. It really is an all-time classic. I think this weekend is probably the greatest weekend of quarterfinals we've ever seen. Every single game, came down towards the end. All the games were in the balance at one stage. There were a lot of different emotions running between, ebbs and flows in various games. A lot of different moments where teams looked like they'd won and then not won, for example. It was a phenomenal weekend of rugby, and I'm hoping at the semi-finals try to replicate that. They could. They've got the potential to be quite one-sided, but they've also got the potential to see some teams who are not expected to do well step up. So before we sort of reflected exactly on last night and what made it so special, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel. The best Springbok performance of all time? Question mark. That's what people are asking, and I tell you what, it's got to be close. It's got to be close to one of the best performances a Box have ever put on. And the ironic thing is that they weren't always great. There was a 10-minute period where France were all over South Africa. But I think the main thing is that even when you're not playing well, in very commas, in terms of opposition being all over you, the fact that, we managed to keep them relatively scoreless, they only ever got 6 points away from us, or 7 points away, and they mean nullified that. So there was only ever try away from us leveling, which is impressive, So even when France were playing really well, when the Box were maybe struggling a little bit, we kept ourselves in the game, and the defensive effort we saw last night was absolutely immense. Yes, we could see the 3 tries. France are a side that scored tries. I think there were always going to be tries last night. We actually scored 4 tries. So, for a side that is accused of playing 10-man rugby, to see both wings, as well as Damien Delinde scoring a try, as well as Evan Etzebeth scoring a try in the loose. No more tries, for example. No penalty tries. It was a great showing of attacking intent, but once again, a big shout out to the defense, especially in that last patch to play all those phases, for example. How many times did France find a line break, find space in above, and it forced a knock on? There was a big tackle, for example, and certain players really stepped up. And I think what's been so interesting is that so many players, a lot of people were doubting, stepped up last night. Somebody like Cheslin Colby was getting a bit of heat, which was weird, just because he hasn't scored a try in a while. And last night he was phenomenal. Not only scoring a try, but that charge down against Tomo Ramos. I mean, that's a potentially 2 points. We won by 1 point. That was a match-winning moment, for example, match-winning contribution. Damien Delinde, someone who people have been calling for. And Jesse started ahead. Look at the game he had last night, scoring a try and creating and then scoring that try because he created the initial break. Jesse Creel, I mean, goodness me, what? I mean, as everybody's probably rightly saying, his best ever performance for the Bok jersey last night. He was absolutely immense. Could easily have walked away with man of the match. I think he had a match high for tackle count, try assist, for example, made some brilliant defensive reads. He didn't put a single foot wrong. And I'll tell you what, Jacques Ingeval was talking about how good Lekanya was looking in training. You cannot drop JC Creel after a performance like that. And that is how you reward the coaches who have stuck by you, if they backed you, and you go and put a performance like that. And everybody has had to put their hands up and say, well, we were a bit skeptical, but wow, what a performance. And rightly so. Thought BOYLESPORTS played very well last night. Even Etzebeth, people are talking about him now rightly, potentially the greatest Springbok player ever, which is, I think he deserves to be in the conversation. You can never determine who the best player is of all time. Different eras, different positions, different times, but he's definitely in the conversation as an all-time great and one of the best. And then Bongi Mbambi, who got man of the match. What a moment for him. We lost Malcolm Marx. A lot of people thought, well, that's a big blow to the World Cup. Some people were even going as far as saying until World Cup over, which I never think it was. But shout out to Bongi Mbambi, who put in an absolutely mental shift last night. Didn't miss the line out. It was all over the place. Brought his physicality. It was good at the breakdown, actually. Fantastic defense. He's really stepped up. They've given him a leadership role this year, and it's brought out the best in him. And just wow. And I think you look at that performance, it was just the attitude. It was we stuck in the game, and we didn't panic as well. And then when the going got tough, the bench came on and made such a big impact. So Oxen Chair and those scrub penalties, for example, Clark Smith and those penalties on the ground, some huge contributions. Not a problem with that penalty, that 3 point. How important is that? there were so few players that didn't pitch up last night. There was an absolute mammoth effort because France were good. It wasn't a France off day. It wasn't the case of France just weren't at the races. France were at the races. Antoine Dupont was at the races. Damien Pinot was looking good. Mathieu Jalibert was having a great time, apart from one of the worst match finals of all time. Jonathan Dante was pretty solid. Charles Oliver was having a good game. Like Gregory Alger was getting involved. It was a French side that were firing on all cylinders, and it took absolutely everything for the Box to actually go on and win that game. So I'll pose you the question: was that the greatest Springbok performance of all time? I think it has to be up there. What do you think? Down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. Chat to you soon.